All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all in another episode of Run It With You. And today we got to run it about women, men, and breakups. Who initiate more breakups, men or women? Who initiate more divorces, men or women? Got to really, you know, break this down, like to figure out why I believe that women initiate more breakups. You got to understand women. Now, one thing about a woman, since the beginning of the time, hypergamy has always been, you know, embedded in them. So they're gonna always go for the best man that they could get on the market. So sometimes they will monkey branch from one man to another. It ain't yours. It's just your turn. You know, no matter how good you think you doing, if she thinks that she could do better, if it's a chance for her to do better, especially if said man is telling her X, Y, and Z, giving her all these promises, she might go ahead on and consider and take him up on that offer. Um, since the beginning of time, hypergamy has always been a thing in the dating scene, and it's kind of understandable. Since the beginning of time, women had to literally fend for themselves by selecting the best man, or else they won't survive. Like that's just how it went. But nowadays, they can survive on their own. But, the man has to be such, on a certain standard to even meet her requirements now that it's just, almost impossible, to the point where the standards are so high that only a small pool of men are dating the same women, or only a small pool of women, or a large pool of women are dating a small pool of men, the same pool of men at that. Of course, it's gonna be some men still mess with a woman here and there, still, have a little rendezvous here and there, but for the most part, they're gonna want to select the best they can. Now, at the same time, you might say, well, how come they do select all these bums all the time? Every time I see a woman, she's with a bum. That may be true, but we said breakup. We didn't say wit. We said breakup. So that bum gonna only have his turn. Um, at the end of the day, the woman going to select who has the most financial security, who has the most physically imposing security that she feel like she's could be protected. Hence why a lot of women tend to go with bad boys, tend to go with men that they feel like if danger poses a threat, he won't have no problem of eliminating any dangerous that comes their way. Um, Hence the reason why a lot of women are messing with a lot of these top-notch athletes and musicians and stuff, when they of a certain caliber of women in a certain uh, demographic and in a certain industry. So you see all these people running with the same type of groups. It's almost like a never-ending loop. It's just the same, and at the same time, it's a never-ending lap. Once a woman experiences something, she has to date up. It's almost just like when a woman was 16 and she experienced a dude with a car. He probably was 18 at the time, but he had a car. Now she can only date men with cars, and a lot of times them men be much older than her. So at the same time, she's probably messing with men that she shouldn't be messing with, and she's seeing things that, girls of her peers probably not seeing, and those men that she's talking to on her, you know, level can't give her these same experiences. Now she always gotta talk to a dude with a car. Now she always gotta talk to a dude who stay by herself. Now she always gotta talk to a dude who has this type of status in a neighborhood, or this type of status of social media following. It's gonna always go up and up and up. But men, we more inclined to date off of peace. We more inclined to date off of stability and loyalty. Women, they inclined to date off of security and status. That's it. A man, we just want somebody that we could say we have. Nobody else has had things of that nature. Women, they don't really care about who you've been with, as long as you got the status, as long as you got the security, they gonna flock to you. It's not gonna really matter. We look at dating and approach dating in two different ways, and I think that's what's getting misconstrued in the dating market. Women project a lot onto men from what they're doing, but they don't realize that you can't really do that. Like, you can't look at what men doing and want to be like how men are approaching the dating scene and think that's attractive to men. You can't do that. You can't go around here sleeping with everybody and just because the men are doing it too. You can't go around here, because then you're gonna ostracize yourself for a man that you will really want and him to take you serious, but he's not gonna want you back because you trying to operate like how a man operate, and you're trying to project on things that you see what you and your friend group are doing. It's almost like when they say, oh, why you trying to spend time with your homeboys? Would you like them or something? They be projecting when they say that, because when they spend time with their homegirls, all that grabbing ass and touching on ass in the clubs and all that, sometimes that leads to things when they get back to those Airbnbs, when they go on these girls trips. Sometimes that leads to things when they get back home after dropping their homegirl off, and homegirl baby daddy not picking up the phone. So when they go to sleep with each other, sometimes one thing can lead to another, and they project that thinking that they men are doing that with homeboys and stuff, but that's not the case. And I think that get misconstrued in the dating world right now. Females saying they got to operate in a masculinity of survival and take them as they am with their masculine traits, but they would never talk to a man that's feminine. Why not? Because that's a turn off to them. So they think it's a turn off to them from a man being feminine, but they don't think it's a turn off to us from a woman being masculine. And I think that's all was going wrong in the dating scene. And as far as breaking up when hypergamy hits, it's getting rewarded. When you are married, shoot, you getting that you don't get that prenup, and you could get half of whatever he's been building for his whole legacy. They got NBA players right now getting that's a business. I'm talking about the women's claim to fame. A lot of the times when it comes to wealth and when it comes to overnight success is divorce. So they getting pushed to do this. Even if a woman not sure about doing it, their family, their friends are going to put the battery in their back to do it. Why women initiate breakups? Because after a while, if you're not rising and rising and rising, even if you're doing very well, you stuck at $100,000 and y'all living $100,000 lifestyle. After 2 years, they gonna want that $200-300 lifestyle. They want more trips a year. They want more fancy dinner dates with gifts. Social media, when they're comparing their life to someone else's life, that's a big part. Because now they're going to feel like they deserve better. Even when you gave them the world, they want the moon. So marriage, divorce becomes a reward. Breaking up and thinking that the grass is green on the other side because you're getting all the validation on social media. You seeing everything on social media. You feel like you could do better. That's going to be in the back of their head. Okay. Now, once they do all this, they're going to find themselves passing up the men that they should have been with. They're going to find themselves passing up the men that would have been a good fit for them, because after so long, you do this and do this and do this, keep on monkey branching and keep on going from man to man, you're going to like crap out. you're gonna just ask yourself about the dating market for anybody who won't take you serious because you didn't been through too many relationships. You got too much trauma, you got too much baggage. Don't be having a baby along the ride with all these twists and turns. You know, it's too much to keep a woman happy. Even if you provide the financial, even if you provide the security, they're gonna want some type of uh emotional roller coaster. They're gonna want some type of chaos. They're gonna want some type of drama. They're gonna want some type of entertainment. You can't mess with nobody who needs to be entertained. If you gotta wake up and figure out how this person gotta be entertained, that's not the person for you, unless you that type of person yourself. You better be a content creator, because that's gonna be the only way. You gotta fulfill all those needs when it comes to a lot of women. Not all, but to a lot of women. Otherwise, you're gonna be bored. That's why it's good to leave some type of mystery up for a woman. You can't let her just, know your every move, your every day. It is going to become redundant to her. Now, I would say get with a woman that's a homebody that don't even feed into all that, don't even have a lick of drama or chaos in her body. Don't even look at drama and chaos shows. Like she don't even know what a baddies is. She don't even know what any of these toxic relationship roller coaster things that people just feel like they have to go through to find true love. Like she don't even understand that. She don't know what it is, and she ain't even checking for it. But women definitely break up with men more because it's incentivized. Women's friends gonna always feel like they could do better. Men, we don't ever say, yeah, man, you need to leave her unless she just out here cheating. But other than that, if she's a at-home wife, she's things getting boring, things getting kind of bland, a man gonna be like, shoot, that's what you want, that's what you need. You steady Eddie, you got stability, you got peace. You ain't coming home arguing, you ain't gotta work, you ain't worried about her cheating, you ain't gotta worry about all this drama, all this chaos. You good. But women, shoot, they got a boring man. They go ahead preaching that to their friends. Their friends gonna egg them on. Girl, live a little. Let your head down. What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Girl, have some fun. And that's another thing. Don't just vet your girl, vet her friends. Are they married? Are they in long-term relationships? Do they like to go out? Are they single? Are they single and do they get down? Or are they single and they looking for a husband? Peep out your girl's friends. See their characteristics and their traits. At the end of the day, you're not going to understand them fully, but you could get an idea. You could get a gist. If a man been around a lot of women, dealing with a lot of women, we could pick up on certain cues on what type of girl a woman is. Now, she ain't gonna fully just let you know, oh yeah, this is my friend, and anytime that you make her angry, I'm just gonna go ahead on and tell her go talk to another man. Like, no, she ain't gonna let you know that. But you're gonna have to do your discernment on her friends in the vetting process. After you deal with a certain amount of women, you'll be able to pick up on certain cues. You'll be able to just off the look of her, just off the way she carry herself, the way that she's dressed. Now, all the time, that's not always a guarantee, but it's a start. You can't look at somebody and say, oh, this is a nice guy. Oh, this is a nice woman. But it's a start. Some people, you could look at them and say, damn, oh my God, I would have never thought that wouldn't have worked out. Being sarcastic, but because it wouldn't have worked out just off the look of them. And some people you'll be like, oh, damn, I never would have thought. But you'll be like, okay, well, I mean, from all the signs, they didn't really give that, but it happened. But you could understand why that person chose that person because they carried themselves in a certain way that really wasn't them. But in the world of social media, in the world of dating apps, in the world of, pushing all this agenda, pushing all this negative, um, negative behavior and things of that nature, a woman damn sure break up with men more than men break up with women, because when a man get with a woman, he's serious. When a man get with a woman, he's trying to settle down. Is he gonna do all the way right by her? Maybe not. But you gotta remember, men choose relationships, women choose sex. And if a man choose you to be in a relationship with you, he ain't about to just break up with you unless you just absolutely went way beyond coming back. Now, do some men accept cheating, and can forgive? Yes. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like men don't. Men do every day, all the time. But after so much, a real man ain't gonna just put up with that. Now, maybe a simp, maybe a dude who just, put in so many years, and, y'all done built a foundation with businesses, a home, kids. Maybe he might bite the bullet and stick around. But if y'all ain't got no kids, he a grown man, it's to happen more than once, he ain't about to deal with that. So other than that, a man ain't gonna just break up with no woman. You'll have to just do something, that's just unforgivable. Um, but a woman, shoot, they'll do stuff for you to try to break up with them before they break up with you. They'll text other guys and leave their phone open without putting a password in. They'll just leave little clues just so you can get mad, or just start to be rambunctious and annoying on purpose and just push you to the point for you to break up, just so they could not look like the bad guy in that initiated the breakup. Sometimes they do that. They play mind games. Well out there, welcome, just so you can put them out, so it don't make him look like the bad guy in your story when you tell your story to everyone else. But let me know down in the comment section what you think. Do you think men break up and initiate breakups with women more, or do women break up initiate things with men more? Now I will say this: some men, they put women, you know, they'll say they in a relationship with a woman just to get what they want, and after they got what they want, after they didn't have their way with her, then they'll kick them to the curb. And a lot of times that's what make women get cold. That's what make women just say, you know what, I'm about to give men a taste of their own medicine. And that could turn the motherfucker into their villain arc. So when it comes to that, yes, men be breaking up women a lot, but I wouldn't even call that a real relationship. That's just something a man was just telling a woman to get what he wanted. But I'm talking about an actual factual relationship, like a real relationship where one person and another person trying to make this thing work. Who breaks up more? You know. But until next time, I'm gonna get back up with y'all. Y'all want me to react to something? No cap, no filter 7@gmail.com. Y'all want me to speak on something? No cap, no filter 7@gmail.com. Hit the email, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, I'm out.